Canuck Sanrio, recording for internet in Minecraft. And if you've ever just been exploring this vast cubic majesty and happened to see a great looking place to take shelter for a bit, but it turns out that the customer service is just awful. Everything costs an arm and a leg, employees are all a little bit aggressive, some things get said, enemies are made, and oh, look at this. Look what I just happen to be carrying a full stack of. But wait, ladies and gentlemen, before you debase yourself to mindless griefing, allow me to introduce you to the all-new, one-of-a-kind transmutation bow. With this, you can transmute any structure of your choosing to the block of your choice, be it gold, stone, the creepy pile of disembodied heads, or anything that isn't that. Oh, and if none of that is to your liking, don't worry. TNT is still a very valid option, but this still leaves us without a place to stay for the night. And that was such a lovely house, it would be such a shame for it to go to waste. Worry not, for if you act now, I'll throw in the amazing Alchemy Bow for the full complete set. Now, when something gets transmuted, the original will be reconstructed for you to redeploy at your leisure. Okay, so I'm gonna be real with you here. Alchemy is pretty slow. Really slow. I originally designed it as like a battle skill, so if in PvP you couldn't nail someone with a normal arrow, you could transmute a hotel or something and drop that on them instead. But it's too slow. Even if it was a special one per game item, the lag it generates would be too much. It will bring everything down, and transmuting something for this size can take well over 10 minutes. So while that's going on, I'll show you some of the mechanics behind it. Obviously, we start at the bow. When the arrow hits a block, we summon a villager named Scanned, and an armor stand also named Scanned, but with capital letters. From here, Scan summons entities in each of the main directions. Up, down, left, right, forward, back. Each with a different name based on the direction. AAA, AAB, AAC. If one of these finds itself in an air block, or dirt, or sand, or just really any common block I expect the structure to be built on, that entity dies. Otherwise, the surviving ones tell the armor versions with the same name to create an ice block where they stand. Any of the directional armor entities that don't have an ice block at this point die. That way both scans match up, basically. From here, the rest of this is just recursive. The surviving directional entities get demoted and have the last letter of their name dropped off to become just plain AA. So AAD would just become AA. And AA starts the process over again. It will summon all the directional entities that Scan did. Then get demoted again to A. A's only job is to kill any entity that is standing in the same block that it is. That way we don't keep recursing over the same blocks we've already been to. The actual transmuting comes from just the villager A. When a cycle is completed, A replaces whatever block it's in with a block of my choosing. The reason it's an exact copy is because I am still using the clone command. We get the exact block by looking at the closest AA and copying that block down here, and then copying again to whatever entity this scan thinks is closest. Now, it's important that the directional entities are summed in order, because the only way to make sure that both scans are using the same method for deciding which entity it should focus on would be to prioritize the closest entity, or if two of them are the same distance apart, the oldest. Now, once recursion is all finished, this monstrosity counts how many entities wide the building is and tries to center it using command stats. I'm not gonna go over those. They're really complicated and whatever. I'll just explain it in posts with like walls of texts. Who doesn't like walls of text? That's a good way to end a video. Now, as a final note before we go back to our explosive finale, there is technically a way to make the transmutation faster. If I were to drop this reconstruction part, it should be usable in multiplayer. It should be faster, and multiple transmutations can happen at once. But whatever. End of thing. It's been like I've been talking for like 7 minutes now, and I'm ready to start some fireworks. Oh, and just for the record, the length of this video is roughly exactly the length that it'd take this building to finish copying in real time. So, now that we've stolen a house, it's time to go destroy the original in one big server lagging, frame rate killing, completely regrettable lapse in rationale.